Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Wa qala ta'ala fi maqamin akhar. خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح اللهم إني أعوذ بك أن أضل أو أضل أو أظلم أو أظلم أو أزل أو أزل أو أجهل أو يجهل علي. So basically, there have been many questions that people have been asking in last few days regarding Ramadan and regarding Zakat. So it just came into my mind that if I could just go over some basic things regarding Ramadan and regarding Zakat, so that people can at least have the basic understanding, and then based on that they can find or they can learn about the basic rulings, and then inshallah ta'ala we'll also go over a few questions answers. We need to first understand the purpose of this gathering, purpose of this workshop. The purpose of this workshop is not to have the detailed fiqhi discussion about Ramadan and Zakat, because both of them need like a day each at least. So the plan is just to go over basics and a few question answer for like 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours max, not more than that. So you can understand that it won't be a detailed discussion, but at least inshallah ta'ala I hope that people will benefit for at least the regarding at least the basic understanding. So first thing first, Ramadan, fasting. We all know that fasting is fard. Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, in which He has made fasting mandatory. Fasting is from dawn to sunset, right? Fasting is from dawn to sunset from the Quran. So dawn means start of Fajr time to the sunset. This is what fasting is defined as. And what do we do in fasting? We stay away from food, drink, and marital relations. So these are the three things that we stay away from dawn to sunset. Now, there are two main things that we actually do in fasting. Anything to go in the stomach cavity, to refrain anything from going into the stomach cavity, and to refrain from sexual gratification. These are two main things that we stay away from anything going into the stomach cavity and from sexual gratification. And there is a third thing as well, but I'm purposely not mentioning it, and that is anything going into the brain cavity. But because nothing goes into the brain cavity, so I'm not touching upon that, because the only way that anything can go into the brain cavity is that if, say, there is a hole that goes into the brain, into the head, and that goes all the way inside the brain cavity, and if, say, medicine or something is put into it, that goes into the brain cavity. But in any way, because in normal circumstances this person will not be fasting in any way. Two, most likely if such a damage happens to the head, don't know how much chances will be there for him to survive. So in normal circumstances it does not happen. So let me just limit myself to things going into the stomach cavity, and 2, sexual gratification. So we need to first understand that fasting is to refrain, is to stop anything going into the stomach cavity. Why? Between dawn and sunset, right? Between dawn and sunset. And 2, I repeat, to achieve sexual gratification. Sexual gratification between dawn and sunset. So first thing first, dawn is start of Fajr. So if anything goes into the stomach cavity after the start of Fajr, his fast is not valid. Or if he is fasting, the fast breaks, right? Unfortunately, there has been some misunderstandings that some people think that people can eat or drink while Fajr Azan is going on. And they base it based on a hadith which is in Sunan of Abu Dawood, that Prophet ﷺ said that if Azan is going on and you have a glass of water in your hand, and if you drink that, you can just continue drinking that. That is absolute misunderstanding, because Quran does not say so. Quran says that from start of Fajr to sunset. Then we need to understand this hadith based on that ayat of the Quran. So ulama have given different understandings of that hadith, our ulama. They say, it may be that because there were 2 azans going on, and Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Maktoum used to give azan before Fajr, which was for tahajjud, and then Sayyidina Bilal used to give azan for Fajr. And there came a time that Prophet ﷺ exchanged the duties. He said that Bilal will give the azan for tahajjud radiyallahu anh, and Abdullah ibn Maktoum radiyallahu anh will give the azan for Fajr. And Prophet ﷺ said, let the azan of Bilal do not deceive you, so you can eat and drink until that you hear the azan of Abdullah ibn Maktoum. So some ulama have said, taken this hadith, that this was regarding the azan of Sayyidina Bilal when he was given the responsibility of azan for tahajjud. And the others say, it may also be that if somebody thinks that azan is given before Fajr time, before the start of Fajr time, then one can eat and drink, because it is not about, nothing to do with azan, it is to do with start of Fajr. Understanding? So it has to do with start of Fajr, it has nothing to do with azan, because azan is just a call to the prayers. Azan is to call people that, all right, come to the masjid to pray, or it is also to announce that the prayer time has ended. In those times, there were no clocks, there were no prayer timetables. So people were looking at the horizon and then people were giving azan. It could have been that somebody gives azan maybe 30 seconds earlier, 1 minute earlier. So the second understanding of this hadith is that Prophet ﷺ is saying that if somebody feels that the azan has been called earlier, before the start of the Fajr time, then if you are drinking, then you can just finish it off. Otherwise, it is not valid if people are eating and drinking after that the Fajr has entered. The fast is not valid. So anybody who has been eating and drinking, if the azan of Fajr is going on, and generally speaking, azan of Fajr is called after that the Fajr time has entered, so their fast is valid or not? Not valid. It's not valid. If anybody has done so, he must repeat those fasts, or if they're old enough that they cannot fast all of those qada fasts, they have to give fidya. And if they don't even have anything to give fidya, they should do istighfar, right? So do something, one or the other. But that fast is not considered valid. Please, we need to understand that very well, because it's such a common misconception out there. 2, so first you understand that it's between dawn and sunset. And likewise, if anybody eats or drink maybe a sip of water 30 seconds before sunset, then again his fast is broken. It is not valid. Okay. By the way, here, for example, if you look into weather.com or something, the sunset here in Dubai, for example, is, say for example, 6:57. The azan is called at 7 p.m. 3 minutes later. So there is already an ihtiyat in giving the azan. That's what I've noticed here. So inshallah, that's perfectly fine. But from from principle standpoint, if anybody eats or drink even 30 seconds before sunset, then his fast is not valid, it's broken. Now, anything going into the stomach cavity, anything, it could be anything, all right? It could be a piece of paper, it can be the leftovers of miswak, it could be toothpaste, swallowing toothpaste. Anything going into the stomach cavity will break the fast, But now there are different types of things that people may eat, and there are different ways that the people eat. So some things that we eat are beneficial for us, or we enjoy that. They're either we enjoy that or they are beneficial. I'm not saying nutrition, I've said beneficial. Benefit can be in the form of nutrition, or benefit can be in the form of medicine. Medicine is also beneficial for us, right? If we are sick and we take Panadol, it's not nutrition, but it benefits us. It helps us get rid of our sicknesses. So anything that is either nutrition or medicine, basically beneficial, or it might not be beneficial, but we enjoy that. We like it. Eating chewing gum, I don't think is beneficial, right? But it is enjoyable thing, right? People enjoy that. So anything that is either enjoyable or beneficial, we eat either that, or we may swallow anything else which is neither beneficial nor enjoyable, right? But everything going inside the stomach cavity will break the fast, intentionally or unintentionally. Does not matter. That is why it is, if somebody has has ghusl wajib on him, he is in major ritual impurity, and ghusl is wajib on him, ghusl of janabat, hayz, nifas, whatever, then it is, although generally it is fard to wash the inside of the face and gargle to the back of the throat, but not in Ramadan. Not while one is fasting, Not while one is fasting, because it is the possibility that if he's gargling to the back of his throat, what if anything goes inside his throat, his fast will break. So in fast, one is not recommended to do so. Okay? It is not recommended to gargle to the back of his throat so that there is no accident, because even accident, intentionally or unintentionally, anything going down the throat in the stomach cavity will break one's fast. The only thing that is forgiven is if anything eats or drinks forgetfully. There are two different things. Unintentionally and forgetfulness are two different things. I don't even remember I'm fasting, right? It's the first day of fast, for example. I went into my kitchen. I had the habit of munching something. So, for example, without realizing that I'm fasting, I took something, put it in the mouth and ate it, and then realized, oh my God, I was fasting. This is forgetfulness. Forgetfulness does not break the fast, but unintentional, remembering I'm fasting, unintentional, something going unintentionally in my stomach cavity will break my fast. But then there is another ruling, that what to do. So with unintentional fasting, with any food or drink going inside the stomach cavity that is not beneficial or not enjoyable, these two things, either unintentional or not beneficial, not enjoyable, even though that might be intentional. These things, when they go down the throat, they go down into the stomach cavity, will not necessitate kafara. But if it was intentional and it was beneficial or enjoyable, then anything going down the throat will necessitate qada plus kafara. The unintentional plus non-beneficial going down the throat will not necessitate kafara, but only qada to make up for that one day. But if it was beneficial, enjoyable and intentional, then anything going down the throat will necessitate qada, make up for that one day, plus kafara. What is kafara? Kafara is to fast for 60 consecutive days. 60 consecutive days. One break, restart. Only exception is hayz or nifas. Bas. That's the only exception. Because with hayz, of course, women have to have a break. So that break is forced by Allah Ta'ala. So that is the only exception that people can have break and then can restart. But other than that, there is, if anybody breaks even for sickness, then he will have to restart 60 consecutive days. Or if somebody is something called Shaykh Fani, that he has such a sickness that he cannot fast at all. Doctors have said you can never fast for the rest of your life. Somebody is a kidney patient, he's on dialysis or things like that, then he can give fidya to 60 poor people, either 60 different poor people on the same day, or if they want to give to the same person, then on 60 different days, right? So that is the kafara. So I repeat, when do you not give kafara? Either you eat unintentionally or forcefully. Somebody might put a gun on somebody's head and say eat, right? It's like unintentional. Again, it's not intention. Unintentionally, or even if it was intentional, but it was non-beneficial, non-pleasurable thing. Either of them, right? So then there's only qada and no kafara. And third thing, when it is there is no kafara but only qada, is if it is not taken through normal means. If it does not enter the stomach cavity through normal means. How does it enter through normal means? Through the mouth, right? Illa that somebody takes food some other way. Through mouth, right? So if somebody takes it, or nose is also, by the way, it's the same thing. Some people are given, they're sick, they take their food through a pipe that is entered through their nose. So if it does not enter through normal means, yani through throat, let's put it that way, through throat. So for example, somebody puts a suppository from his backside, right? So he's sick and vomiting, cannot take it through mouth, and doctors put a suppository through the backside. So that is not a normal means. Does it break the fast? Yes. All right, one more thing. All the stomach cavity is here. Where is stomach cavity? Some people think it's here, like the big belly that they have. It's not stomach cavity. Some people start smiling, reflecting on their own state. But stomach cavity is here, right? So, and then there are intestines underneath, and along the intestines there's a lot of fat. So all the stomach cavity is here, but once anything goes inside, it goes down the throat, goes from the backside, and it enters the digestive tract, then we don't know it's gone. It's gone inside, and there's a possibility that it will possibly go into the stomach cavity. Who knows? It's all moist inside, and so that's why ihtiyatan, anything that goes either down the throat or goes into the digestive tract from the backside, it is assumed as if it has reached the stomach cavity and has broken the fast. So, but suppository taken from backside is not a normal way of eating. It's not a normal way of putting anything into stomach cavity. So it will only necessitate qada and no kafara. So the third condition that I'm now telling is that will only necessitate qada and no kafara if it is not taken through normal means, and the normal means of eating is only through the throat. Understand, everybody? But eating anything will break the fast. Some people have the habit of eating papers, biting onto pencils, right? If it breaks, the wood breaks and goes inside, fast breaks. So this is about food and drink. By the way, the books, the traditional books of fiqh, they say that anything goes through the ears also goes down the throat and breaks the fast. The traditional books of fiqh, they say that. But recently, some our big muftis have sat down and they have investigated that. Some people say, oh, these ulama, they do not they're not up to date with what's going on with the medical researches and all of that. No, 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 no. It's not that. They're up to date. They are very much up to date. They are always investigating. They're always doing research. So don't think like that. It is a misconception. So recently, a few Darul Ulooms in Karachi, for example, in Deoband, for example, they have issued a fatwa in some recent years that after doing research, that anything, there is no direct connection between the ears and the throat. There are membranes within, so anything that is put in the ears, like say eardrops, will not break the fast, Although because the traditional books of fiqh do say that it does, so ihtiyatan, just to be on the safe side, it is better that if you can delay putting eardrops after Maghrib and before Fajr, it's good. But if somebody is in extreme pain and the doctors recommend to them that you put eardrops, then the fast will not break. But through eyes, irrespective, it does not break the fast. Anything put into the eyes does not break the fast. So basically something going down the throat. So it was, even now, this used to be considered as the same specialty, ear, nose and throat, ENT, right? Although now with more research, more specialization, everything has its own specialty. Eyes have their own, mouth have their own, ears have their own, nose have their own, possibly, Allahu Alam. Lekin, it was considered that ears are connected to throat, but as I said, that the recent fatwa is that if somebody has a need to put anything in the ears while fasting, fast does not break, because there is no direct relationship between ears and the throat. It just goes through membranes and does not reach the throat. Everybody's with me? Or sleeping? Right. I hope that people took rest this morning, inshallah, and they're not sleeping right now. About sexual gratification. Sexual gratification is also as a normal means. First thing for sexual gratification. Sexual gratification means ejaculation of seminal fluid is sexual gratification, right? So reaching the climax of sexual gratification. That's what I mean. That breaks the fast. So it is also either through normal means or through abnormal means, right? First thing first, abnormal means is haram. Abnormal means is a sin, right? Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran that people who are successful are those people of Iman. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ إِلَّا عَلَىٰ أَزْوَاجِهِمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ غَيْرُ مَلُومِينَ فَمَنِ ابْتَغَى وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ. That people of successful believers are those who guard their private parts and except with their wives. And it mentions slave as well, but there is no concept of slavery in the time that we are living in. And then Allah Ta'ala says, فَمَنِ ابْتَغَى وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ. Whoever takes another way of fulfilling their sexual gratification, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ. Then they are transgressors, right? It's haram, they are sinning. So normal means is only one, and that is husband-wife relationship through the front. That's it. That is normal means. Although ulama have said that if somebody sins and does it from the back side, it is also in the same meaning, and that is also considered as normal from the perspective of qada or kafara. Otherwise, that's a huge sin, it's a kabira, and Prophet ﷺ curses on that person. But that is only considered as normal means. Any other means, if anybody fulfills his desires through any other means and there is a gratification, if there is ejaculation, then it also breaks the fast. But the same principle is applied. And what principle is that? That if it's done through normal means, there is qada plus kafara. There is qada plus kafara. There is qada plus kafara. But if it's done through abnormal means, then there is only qada and there is no kafara. So same principle that applies. That if it's done through normal means, it is called that there is qada plus kafara. If it's done through abnormal means, then there is only qada and no kafara. Understand? So this is the basic principle of fasting. I spent like 20 minutes in that. So I think it should cover majority of the questions regarding fasting, what I've just said. So anything going into, what was the word that I used? Stomach cavity will break the fast, right? Anything going into the stomach cavity will break the fast. Anything going into the stomach cavity will break the fast. And sexual gratification breaks the fast. Then I spoke all about that, what types of food might go in, beneficial / pleasurable, or and that is not beneficial, not pleasurable. Okay, or that is put into the stomach cavity through normal means or through abnormal means. Then I've said that that kafara is only if it is beneficial / pleasurable and intentional and put into the stomach cavity through normal means. That necessitates kafara along with qada. Understand? Clear, right? No doubts. Any doubts? Should I ask you questions? Should I ask questions? Who do you pick? Farhan bhai, पूछूंगा सवाल. He's also a student, mashallah, as well. So I know you know it, but just for people's benefit. What if somebody takes a glucose drip in their veins? Will it break the fast? Why? Good. Does it? Anybody who thinks that it does? It does not. Why? Because it does not go into the stomach cavity. Some people say, no, but you get the nutrition. Well, again, just remember, if you remember the principles, it will just answer all of your questions. Don't start doing chaos, logical reasonings. Forget about all of that. It gives you nutrition, doesn't give you nutrition. Forget about that. It's not going in the stomach cavity. Some people say, oh, why not? Right? It does. Well, it goes into the blood. It goes into blood. Do you think that blood is going into the stomach? If the blood was going into the stomach, then all you would be passing through stool is blood. Right? The fact that you don't pass blood in stool, that means that there's no blood in the stomach. Right? So blood doesn't come into the stomach. The blood is in the veins and arteries. So it does not, because it doesn't go into the stomach cavity. Right? Somebody is having pain, extreme pain. What can be the options that I can relieve my pain in fast? Anybody? Gee. Huh? I'm screaming here. Injection. Where? Muscles. Bus. No other option. Veins. Any injection, wherever. Illa, with one, where we cannot have an injection, if you put anything into the stomach cavity, right? Take an injection all the way into the stomach. That is not allowed. Anywhere else is fine. Right? Right? Veins, muscles. That's an option. Why not? Right? MashaAllah. Everybody's good. Gee, any questions?
Insulin injection taken.
You tell me now, you tell me.
No appointment.
Should not, right? Should not. Any injection going into veins, muscles, should not. It's not anything not going into stomach cavity will not break the fast. Jay.
About the second part, what if someone is sleeping and they have a...
Good. So what if somebody has ihtilam, somebody has a wet dream while fasting? There is no action involved in that. So it is again, it is something that was beyond his control. But anyway, I said that anything going into the stomach cavity, even if it was beyond his control, will break the fast, but not in case of wet dreams, not in case of ihtilam. If anybody has a wet dream or ihtilam, then his fast will remain intact. It does not break the fast. Ji. I'm sorry, you have to be loud and clear, guys.
If animal fur goes inside the throat.
Anything.
Animal fur.
Anything, friend, anything. don't start picking, A, B, C, D, E, anything. Exception, I'll tell you exception based on this question. Exception is the dust in the air. There is no haraj in deen, la haraja fi deen, right? If that goes inside, I can't control it. Smoke of cars, buses, trucks, that is beyond my control. But what if I take a cigarette and breathe that in intentionally? That will break the fast, right? That will break the fast, but not the smoke in the air, not the dust in the air, right? I pass through a mall and somehow somebody has put oud. If I go and breathe in, smells nice, that will. But justice in the air, it will not, etc. Okay. Ji. No, inhaling a smell, inhaling smoke or smell. So I said oud has a smell, but it also has smoke. But inhaling just I don't know if you inhale or smell the smell. If you smell the smell and also has vapors within, no. Anything, as I said, is beyond your control. It does not. If it's just in the air and you're just inhaling it, it does not.
If you're applying perfumes,
That's fine. Yeah. ठीक है. All right. I'll see if there is any question that anybody might have asked online or the. When put medicines in eyes, bitter taste of medicine comes to throat, will break the fast. I've already said, لا تسألوا عن أشياء إن تبد لكم تسؤكم. People who are huffaz may have understood what I've said. I've said eyes does not break the fast, full stop. Somebody said something? But they can understand the answers, right? So they have to be smart enough to understand the answers. Okay, inshallah, I'll try to repeat the questions as well. Okay. I think if that is enough for fasting, then I'll just stop here. Although there were quite a few things that could have been covered, but I'm trying to keep it short and sweet so that I'll just go over a few questions, see if there is. One important thing, people, is that for Ramadan, niyat is fard. Niyat is fard. One cannot fast without niyat. And niyat has to be done according to Hanafi school any time before the midday. Okay? So generally, but niyat is the state of the heart. It is not something to be said with the tongue. There is a dua that we have been taught, وَبِصَوْمٍ غَدٍ نَوَيْتُ مِنْ شَهْرِ رَمَضَانِ. It is okay to say that because it just confirms your heart that I'm making a niyat, right? It is just, there's a lot of wisdom behind that as well, but you don't have to, as long as there's an intention in the heart that I'm fasting, and it has to be done before the midday, okay, for Ramadan. Nose drops do break the fast. Ear and eye and ear drops don't. As I said, if possible, and you can delay your ear drops until after sunset, it is better. But in case of need, the latest fatwa is that it does not. Inhalers. There is a very frequently asked question about inhalers. Somebody has breathing issues. About inhalers for asthma patients. Inhalers do break the fast. Inhalers do break the fast, right? So if somebody have asthma, it's like a chronic disease, it just remains, doctor said you can. So then ulama have said fast. If there is a need of using inhaler, use inhaler, and just give fidya later on. That's what we should do. Right? So if there is a chronic disease, if it's like a temporary, doctor say inshallah it'll be cured in a month or so, then fast, sure. If there is a need for inhaler, do use inhaler. Don't kill yourself, please. do use inhaler, right? And then do qada of that. Make up for that day later on. That's fine. You will not have kafara. It was need. It was a medicine, right? If there is a need to break the fast, break the fast. There is no kafara for that, even if that's intentional, even if that's food, even if that's medicine. Okay, and if there's a need, that will not be intentional breaking. It won't come under the category of intentional fasting, intentional breaking of the fasting. It was unintentional. You didn't want to break the fast. It was something happened that you had to break the fast. Understand? So it won't come under the category of intentional fasting through medicine or through food. It would come under the category of unintentional fasting because something happened to you. You're thirsty. There's so many people who live in countries where it's very hot. There are not much air conditioners. And subhanAllah, because they want to fast, they say, no, I don't want. They're thirsty. They're dehydrating. But they say, no, I want to finish the fast. I want to finish the fast. And deaths do happen. That is not right. That is not right. That is not right. If people feel like that they are dehydrating, they may fall unconscious, they may, they feel that it will inflict harm on their health. Please do break the fast. يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Allah Ta'ala said, Allah Ta'ala wants ease for you, not difficulty. Please do break the fast. If you feel that you are dehydrating, that you may fall unconscious, it may harm your health, and that will be under the category of unintentional breaking, and then make up for that day later on, please. Okay? So in fast, if you feel that you have to use inhaler because you are out of breath, do use inhaler, make up for that day someday later after Ramadan. Okay? And if you think that you're chronically ill, every day it's like that, all the time you have to use inhalers, like I said, 5 times a day, and doctors have said this is how you'll have to live your life for the rest of your life, then just give fidya. And ulama have said even if you're poor and you can't even give fidya, just do istighfar, right? But with that, step by step. So step number 1, fast. Maybe you will not be in the need of inhaler. If you need inhaler, then make up for that day after Ramadan. Can you give blood in fasting? Yes, really, sure. Think about it. Why? Nothing going into stomach cavity, right? Nothing going. But if people think that they feel dehydrated after giving blood, it's makruh to give blood while fasting. Wait until after sunset. But there is nothing wrong as such. Now, one thing. Does vomit break the fast? Huh?
Intentional, yes.
Intentional vomit, intentional mouthful vomit break the fast. Intentional, putting something in the throat and intentionally vomiting, and mouthful. The definition of mouthful is that you cannot hold that vomit in your mouth. You're forced to throw it out. Right? Some vomits are, something, it may come up and then you're able to control it. You don't have to throw it out. Then you can go to the washroom and you can just throw it at your will. But the vomit that you are not able to control, right, that is called mouthful vomit. That you must spit out right there and then. Right? Intentional mouthful vomit breaks the fast. This is the only exception against the principles. This is the only exception against the principles, against the logic, against the qiyas. Something that we call in our fiqh terminology istihsan. That is the only exception outside the principles. Nothing is going inside the stomach cavity, rather coming out. But that is it. There is no second exception. So intentional mouthful vomit breaks the fast. No other vomit breaks the fast. But if somebody, for example, vomits unintentional, he knows he is fasting. He remembers. And he intentionally is in the mood of drinking it back, swallowing it. That will be like swallowing. Mouthful, because you could, ideally it is as if it's outside because you couldn't hold it up. But now you intentionally, remembering that you are fasting, you swallows it back. But that will be like eating food, right? So forget about that. Vomit only if it's intentional, 2, if it is mouthful. Intentional mouthful vomit breaks the fast, alright? Ji? Online. There was a way of asking questions given on email. No entertaining of questions through Electra. There was a way mentioned, right? So they should go through that way, which is sending a message on a WhatsApp number that was given. One confusion, I said anything which is not beneficial or is not enjoyable and it's eaten intentionally, then will be only qaza and no kafara. Yes. So for example, intentionally eating paper or stone or mud. If anybody enjoys eating paper, seriously, if anybody enjoys eating paper, that will, and intentionally eating that will necessitate kafara as well, because enjoyable. But if it's not enjoyable, I don't enjoy it, I'm just happy of right, then it will not necessitate kafara. Eating mud, same. If he enjoys that, some people enjoys eating mud. Some people,
Chalk. Some people enjoy eating chalk.
eating chalks. They enjoy it. They just love it. They crave for it. Then it will necessitate kafara as well if they intentionally eat any enjoyable thing. But if it was not enjoyable, then it will only necessitate qada and no kafara. Yes. Are we allowed to have blood test, blood extraction? I've already answered apply principle, folks. I hope that you have attended from the start. Apply principles. Somebody asking, blood test, blood extraction. Answer that person please for me. Yes? It does not break the fast. See, of course. Breaking fast through masturbation, I said it is abnormal, means does break the fast, but only qaza no kafara because it's abnormal. Don't send me voice messages, please. Only written messages. I tried to fast 60 days consecutive, but I could not do it, as some days I couldn't wake up for suhoor. Well, suhoor is not a necessity to fast. It's not fard or wajib to fast. It is recommended, but it is not fard or wajib. It is recommended to eat suhoor. There is barakat in suhoor. Prophet ﷺ recommended that you get up in the morning and eat something, not necessarily parathas, but something, right? Date, water. But it's not fard or wajib. One can still fast without suhoor. While doing istinja, if water goes inside, be careful. Be careful. Something going inside is not easy. If people have tried putting suppositories in their babies, for example, it's not simple. It's like it takes an effort because there are muscles that actually pushes things out as opposed to sucking things in. So illa that people are really inserting inside and washing inside, that will take water inside, but just a normal istinja will not. Don't be too worried about that. My friends, please apply principles. That's what I said, that you have to apply principles. Can't just say, what if you eat biryani, will it break the fast? What about samosa? What about pakora? What about, apply principles. Insulin injection, I told you, no injection breaks the fast, illa that it is inside the stomach cavity. Masala, putting masalas in the curry. Well, I mean, it doesn't, you just put it in the curry, hopefully, it's not all over the place. Don't worry too much about that. What if swimming breaks the fast or not? Does swimming break the fast?
Possible.
There's a possibility, indeed, especially if it's swimmer like myself. I'm just trying to save my life in a swimming pool. So eat, a few ounces of water from the swimming pool as well. Drink. Yeah, possibility. Can go through nose or throat. Ears, I've already said, my friend. Ears, don't worry about ears. Okay? Okay. Taking blood samples, does it break wudu? We are not doing wudu workshop. We are doing fasting workshop. Okay. Now I will ignore these questions, won't even read that. Sorry to read that. All right. So we have to stick to the topic. Otherwise, we can go all over the place. So all of these smells, the biryani smells that you feel while cooking food, don't worry about them, okay? Don't worry about them. Okay, there is a question online about some sister. If anybody gets menstruation during the day while they were fasting, their fast breaks. Their fast breaks. Fasting is not for women who are menstruating or they are in their postnatal bleeding after childbirth, which is called hayz and nifas in Arabic. The fasting is not for them. They will have to make up for those days later on. In hayz and nifas, those women will have to make up for those days later on. So if somebody gets menstruation during the day, their fast will break. And the books of fiqh say that it's wajib to not eat during that day then, for the rest of the day, because they started with fast, and if they broke their fast from Allah, it broke, so they must refrain from eating and drinking for the rest of the day, just like they were to do when they were fasting. But it does break the fast, even if they see the blood 30 seconds, 30 minutes before the sunset. If they are sure of that it did come out before sunset, yaqeen, they have yaqeen, or ghalib guman, they have the dominant opinion. Otherwise, and they're not sure, and then maybe it was after sunset, then just assume that the fast was valid. But if there is a dominant opinion or certainty that the blood has come out before sunset, the fast has broken, and they will have to make up for that day. And also, in order to start fast, they also will have to be 100% sure that they are out of their menstruation before the dawn, before the start of the Fajr time. Right? They have to be clear of their menstruation before the start of Fajr, before that they can fast. Right? So, for example, they might have thought, oh, I'm over with it, and the dawn enters, Fajr time enters, and then they see, say for example, a spot of blood. So that means they're not yet over with their menstruation. This is not a valid fast for them. This is not a fast for them. Forget a valid fast. It's not a fast for them. This is also will be considered as they are in menstruation, although they made an intention, but they saw blood after the start of Fajr. They'll also have to make up for that day as well. Okay? The books of fiqh say, there's a question, I'm answering that question. The books of fiqh say that if there's any wetness that enters the front part of the females, the front private parts of the females also breaks the fast. There is, the books of fiqh say that if anything wet, moist, enters the front private part of the females, will also break the fast. Okay, so I'll stick to that for the time being. People may argue that it does not go into the stomach cavity, but I'll stick for the time being until that there is something else that will come out, just like I spoke about ears. Okay, so I will just remain to that, because there is some research that is going on that. There might be already a fatwa out there, but because I personally do not know that, I only know the fatwa that is in the books of fiqh, that if anything moist that goes inside the front private part of females will also break the fast. It has to be moist. And inside, there's some tests that are done with women, for example, pap smear test, then an instrument that is inserted to take some cell samples and check for certain diseases. If that instrument that was inserted was moist, and it is moist generally, then it does. But if it was not moist, it was dry, then it does not. Then it does not. It has to be moist. Some moisture, medicine, water, ointment, etc. must enter in order for the fast to be broken. Okay? If anybody gets romantic with his wife while he is fasting, does it break fast? Kissing one's wife, for example, does it break the fast? It does not. But if he ejaculates while being intimate with his wife, say for example touching or kissing, then it does or not? It does. There was an action involved. There was an action involved. Does it necessitate qada or kafara as well? Only qada, no kafara. Why? Ejaculation was not done through normal means, as I've mentioned. Okay. See, intentional breathing in of smoke does break the fast, not otherwise. Any way of sexual gratification through action before dawn fast is not even started yet. So there's no question of breaking fast or not breaking fast. But there's a question, what if somebody gets up, he couldn't get up for suhoor. He had ihtilam at night, or say for example, he had janabat at night, right? And he couldn't get up for suhoor. When he got up, the fajr time has already entered, and he is in the state of major ritual impurity. He's in janabat, right? So what do you think? Fast is valid or not? It is. All what happened was before the start of the fast. So the fast is valid, right? He can take ghusl and can pray fajr. Toothpaste. What do you think? Doing toothpaste while fasting, break the fast or not? Sorry? Depends on what? That what is the flavor of the toothpaste? If it goes inside the throat, then it will. But generally, tasting anything in while fasting is disliked. It is a disliked act. And if it goes down the throat, it will break it. But tasting anything to taste buds is a very common question. You know, women asked, my husband is a zalim, he's a Pharaoh, and he gets upset if the salt is more or the spices are less, you know, and when I'm cooking food for him for iftar, you know, can I taste it so that I don't have to go through his oppression after the iftar? Shame on these husbands, first thing first. Right? Subhanallah, come on. Seriously, you know, there are people who can't eat, people. So many who don't have food to eat. Look at our Prophet ﷺ, for 2 consecutive months, they didn't cook anything in their house. All what they ate was dates, and they drank water and milk. That's it, for 2 consecutive months. And here are we, you know, getting upset with our wives for, is it more salt and less pepper? Come on, please. Don't be Fir'aun. It's even more than Fir'aun. Fir'aun was possibly less oppressive than this, right? But if there is a fear for for life, right, oppression, then ulama have given permission that you taste, but make sure that you spit it out and don't throw it and don't swallow it. Otherwise, it will break the fast. Likewise for toothpaste, because first thing first, as I said, it is dislike to taste anything, and there's a taste of a toothpaste. So don't makruh for sure. And if it does go down the throat, it will break the fast. When the particles of that goes down the throat, it will break it. So there is highly likely that it may break it. But irrespective, there is karahat in that. There is dislikeness in that. So please do brush your teeth, but before entering of the dawn. Okay? If while doing wudu feel like water is gone in the nose, don't worry, feeling like. I don't want people to go into that, OCD as well, obsessive syndromes. That's bad, right? Just be careful, don't worry too much. A woman had 10 days of menstruation. After that, 4 days were clear, but again on 5th day she found blood. Is this menstruation? It is not menstruation. It is called istihaza. The max days of menstruation are 10 days, and after that is all istihaza. There has to be at least 15 days of purity before that she can go into menstruation again, according to Hanafi school. So that is istihaza. That is rulings regarding that. In any way, fasting is must or not. Bleeding from gums. All right, bleeding of gums. What if I swallow my saliva and there is blood that goes inside? Does it break the fast or not? Very good question. If you spit your saliva, if the majority of what you had spit was blood and less saliva, then swallowing that sort of saliva will break the fast. But if it was less blood, more saliva, then swallowing that will not break the fast. Okay, that was beyond your control. So again, it will fall into the category of something that was not in your control, like smoke in the air.
What about sputum? Severe cold, cough?
No. All the, what do you say it in English? How do you say that?
Fluids.
Mucus. Yeah, mucus, and swallowing that does not. It's like slime. Tooth extraction does not, but the blood, if it is, of course, it might bleed, and it bleeds a lot. As I said, if the majority of what was in the mouth was blood, swallowing that will. But if somehow, I don't know how though, if you can stop blood from entering the stomach, the throat, it will not. But it's preferred not to do so. Istinja for women to the front part, inside means inside. So I mean, there are layers, right? There are so inside means going inside. Istinja, don't go inside. Inside you have to insert something. Don't insert while doing istinja. If there are many fasts that have been broken intentionally in the past, then there's only one kafara for that. If anybody has broken 5 fasts intentionally in the past, now they realize and they want to do kafara, there's only one kafara for that. But after giving kafara, if they break fast again intentionally, then they will have to do another kafara. But for the past, only one kafara will suffice. People must see, only those people are allowed to also ask questions who have attended this from start. Because people, I've already said a lot of things, repeating things and not understanding the principles, it will be a waste of time for others, right? If somebody has stopped their menstruation before Fajr, it is not about ghusl, just like ihtilam, if somebody, or janabat, if somebody had ejaculated before dawn, ghusl can be taken later on. Likewise for menstruation, ghusl can be taken later on as long as there is no blood after dawn. If something is stuck into the mouth, of suhoor, and even after brushing your teeth didn't come out, it must be very little particles, of course. Swallowing that will not break the fast. As long the thing that is written in the books of fiqh has to be a chickpea or more size. A chickpea is this one. Until and unless somebody has really big holes in their teeth, right? I don't think that'll be chickpea size, that'll be stuck. Hoga ki nahi? He's looking at me, why not? Yes. Sorry? मैं बता चुका हूँ उसका, वैसे ही है जैसे. ठीक है, that's it for fasting, illa that somebody else has any other question. 1 minute for any more question regarding the fasting, then I'll jump on to zakat, inshallah.
Sometimes acid reflux, which comes out and then it goes in, so before you can spit it out. The acid reflux.
I've told you that. Was it intentional fast?
That was not intentional.
Sorry, intentional vomit. It was not intentional vomit, right?
No, it's not intentional.
Yeah.
It goes back in. There's no time to spit it out.
As I said, I did say that the only fast that is broken through vomit is intentional mouthful. If it was unintentional, and it will not break the fast, number 1. Number 2, swallowing is only if you are intentionally swallowing it, and when it was mouthful, unintentional, only then. And other than that, no breaking of the fast. Steam and smoke is the same ruling, yes. If it is in the air, you can't control it, it does not break the fast. If somebody vomit intentionally and didn't know that fast is not broken. Someone vomited intentionally, didn't know the fast is not broken. Sorry. If somebody vomited unintentionally, and didn't know that fast is not broken, and then they ate something intentionally, they will have to make up for that fast. There is only qada, no kafara. Because they thought that the fast is broken and they were ignorant, jahiliyat, and they did eat thinking that the fast is broken, then there is qada for them. My friends, I've mentioned many things before. If you have not joined from the start, I'm not going to answer. For how long ghusl can be delayed after janabat or haze if become pure before pre-dawn? Generally speaking, we should not delay it at all. Allah Ta'ala loves the people of taharat. Inna Allah yuhibbut tawwabin wa yuhibbul mutatahhirin. Allah Ta'ala loves the people of purity. As soon as people can get out of the state of ritual impurity, they should, as soon as they can. ठीक है. Drip during fasting, I'm not answering. I've already answered all of that, friends. Sorry. Please, the recording will be available, people who are asking questions now because they just joined late, and I've already answered. I've given the principles. They can always listen to the recording later on. ठीक है. All right. Zakat. Zakat is given on 5 types of wealth. I'm only going to mention one type now, but it does not mean that the other 4 types are not to be considered. There might be people who do have to give zakat for other 4 types as well, but as I said, the time is limited. I just wanted to give people, the basic principles and the basic knowledge. The goal of this was never, as I said, a detailed workshop, as I said at the start. So the first type of wealth on which zakat is to be given is gold, silver, cash, and goods of merchandise, mal-e tijarat. This is one type. This is One type. The other types are some animals and goats, sheep, camels, and और क्या? Cows. Sorry? Creatures, huh? No pork, not chicken. Anyway, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm only talking about the first type, which includes these four things: cash, gold, silver, and goods of merchandise. That may include poultries, that may include chicken, that may include eggs, that may include even cows, sheep, goats. If they are goods of merchandise, I bought camels to sell them, that will become goods of merchandise. I have a poultry farm in which I produce eggs and then sell them. Then they are goods of merchandise. So goods of merchandise: cash, gold, silver, goods of merchandise. The zakat has to be given if they are over a certain limit, and that limit, not only that after that they are a certain limit, but also after once one reaches that certain limit, then a year passes on them. And I'll tell through examples. First thing first, what is that limit, which is called nisab in Arabic? That limit is either it is measured in terms of gold or silver. In terms of gold, it is almost 87 grams of silver. Gold. 87 grams of gold. Or from silver perspective is almost 612 grams of silver. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they used to be of the same value. That's why it is either this or that. It is either this or that. But now, because there is a huge gap between these two values, between 612 grams of silver and approximately 87 grams of gold, now what ulama have said, there is a principle which is called anfa'u lil masakin, that it is that the lower of the two is to be considered. And what is the lower of the two in these days? Silver. How much is 612 grams of silver, by the way, today, or these? Around 1,000 dirhams. Can somebody ask Imam Sahib? Imam Sahib se पूछे. Imam who? Google. How much is 612 grams of silver today? On what? 17th of May 2019. Don't ask, how much did it cost in 2018? 1,075 AED. Today, 1,075 dirhams. So today, this amount will be considered. So anybody who has 1,075 dirhams is something called sahibun nisab. He is the one who owns the nisab amount. In other words, he must give zakat. When? A year after what? Okay, let's start. A person becomes baligh, adult. Who becomes baligh? Who is baligh? Some people say 18 years. It's not bulughat in the Lahnaf especially. Bulughat is either a boy, he has ihtilam, a girl who has menstruation, and if doesn't happen, none of that happen, then according to Ahnaf, 15 years for both boys and girls make them baligh. 15 years. So if my son was born on 31st of May 2002, when will he become baligh? If he does not have any other signs? 2000? Wrong. No. He will become baligh, his date was 31st of May 2002, and it was 18th of Rabiul Awwal as well, and a particular year. Which is Salto, it's not on top of my head, but it is the Islamic date. It's the Islamic date. Every year there is a 10-day difference between the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. So in reality, in almost what? Sorry?
Gregorian 14 and a half.
So every year is like 10 days. So how many years will it take to reach a year? Forget about it. Yeah, so you have to consider the lunar date. Unfortunately, majority of us don't even remember the date of births of our children, the lunar dates, the Islamic dates. But all the rulings that are related to age are according to the Islamic date of births. So 15 years, if they don't have any other signs, ihtilam or haze, then 15 years for both boys and girls will make them baligh. So once they become baligh, there is no zakat in the Ahnaf for a non-baligh. In the Ahnaf, according to Hanafi school, there is no zakat for a non-baligh. They don't have to give zakat, okay? Even if they have wealth, they don't have to give zakat. Once they become baligh, now they may have nisab from day one. If somebody's father is rich, they became 15 years of age today and say, oh, mashallah, here's 5,000 dirhams as a gift for you. They will become sahibun nisab on that very day. They might not be sahibun nisab on the day, but one day they will reach a nisab amount. They will have how much? As per today. Say for example, today was that day after that they became baligh. Today was the day that they got how much? 1,075 dirhams or more. So today, after that they became baligh, became sahibun nisab, people with nisab. Now, today is what? What is the date today? 12th of Ramadan. Good. Not 17th of May. It is. But we are talking about Shari'i rulings here. So remember, in all Shari'i rulings, we have to consider the lunar dates, Islamic dates. So, 12th of Ramadan in UAE, not in Pakistan. In Pakistan it's 11th. So 12th of Ramadan, 1440 Hijrah, he became Sahibun Nisab. After that he became baligh for the first day. Right? Now the clock starts ticking for him. His clock has started. Now, a year after today, he will again recheck. When will the year pass on him? 12th of Ramadan, 1441 of Hijrah. He will check again on 12th of Ramadan, not on 1st, not on 20th, not on whenever he feels like, because today is the weekend and I can check today. On that very day, he will check. Do I still have how much? No. How much? Equivalent of 612 grams of silver on 12th of Ramadan on 1441 Hijrah. Don't just keep that in your mind and just keep it for the rest of your life. You know. And I was a kid, I was in Pakistan. We used to eat burgers for 2.5 rupees, and the Coke will also cost 2.5 rupees. And 5 rupees we'll have burgers and Coke. Today, don't even get a candy in 5 rupees. Some people say, oh, I want to follow Sunnah's Mahar Fatmi. And Mahar Fatmi is, 30 rupees or 30 odd rupees. Shame. You're giving your wife 30 rupees? Oh, it's Mahar Fatmi. For when was it Mahar Fatmi? 80 years ago? 70 years ago? Come on. And we need to wake up. Then your salary should also be then. My mother used to say that when my father started work, then he used to get 500 rupees in salary. Then you should deserve 500 rupees in salary as well then. So not 1,075 dirhams. It is today's rate of 612 grams of silver. Check what will be the rate of 612 grams of silver on 12th of Ramadan 1441, a year after that. So if he thinks that he has still more than nisab amount, alright, so today he became sahibun nisab for the first day, after that he became baligh, mark the date, a year after that, check on that date that am I still sahibun nisab, and there is a third thing that he is to check, and that third thing is that throughout that year, did it ever happen that he became zero or negative? Can you become negative? How can you become negative? Loans, right? I don't have anything, can I please borrow 100 dirhams from you? I'm minus 100, right? So did I ever become zero or negative throughout the year? If the answer is no, you had 1 dirhams, 5 dirhams, 10 dirhams every day. It was never zero. I'm not talking about nisab now during the year. I'm talking, did you ever become zero or negative? Answer is no. Then this boy, this girl, on that day, exactly a year after that they became sahibun nisab, will have to pay zakat. They will have to pay zakat. They will have to pay zakat. How much? Whatever they have on that day. Hanafi rulings are so easy to calculate. They are the easiest. Very easy to calculate, the Hanafi way of calculating zakat. Whatever they have from that type. What are the type? What did I mention? What are the type? What are the things in that first type? Cash, gold, silver, goods or merchandise. You add all of that up on that very day, right? So for example, I might have 50 dirhams in cash. I might have gold which worth 2,000 dirhams. I have silver that worth 500 dirhams. Say I'm not a businessman, forget about it. That's all the three things that I have, right? So what I do, I add all of them up. 50 dirhams plus 2,000 dirhams of gold, worth of gold, plus 500 dirhams of silver. How much will be the total? 2,550 dirhams. I take 2.5% of that on that very day, and that's put it on the side. And this is the zakat that I have to give. I can give today, I can give tomorrow, I can give a month later, I can give 3 months later, doesn't matter. But the key is that I must calculate my zakat on a day, exactly a year after that I became sahibun nisab. Now this day will be my day for the rest of my life. Every year, 12th of Ramadan, 1442, 43, 44, 45, as long as that Allah Ta'ala has given me life, I will check on that one day. Some people say, oh, I take out my zakat in Ramadan. What do you mean? Ramadan is a month. People say, if I go to Pakistan, will my prayer will be qasr or full? What do you mean Pakistan? Pakistan is a huge place. When I go to the US is like has 4 time zones. Well, it has to be specific. City, date, right? So not Ramadan. Ramadan is a month. The rates of silver is changing every day maybe. Maybe that, I had 1,000 dirhams on 11th of Ramadan, for which I had to take out zakat on the 12th, but then I spent it on the 13th. And if I'm calculating my zakat on the 15th, say, this money is not even with me, it will be with me. When I'm calculating 2.5%, I'm seeing whatever amount I have, I will not be including that which I should have, because it was with me on the 12th of Ramadan when I had to calculate my zakat. Understanding? It is very important to fix a day, a date, not just a month. And it is extremely sensitive matter. And the reason it is because, Prophet ﷺ once saw Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha, who came to him and said, Ya Rasulullah, look, I have bangles. I'm wearing bangles. Wives, mashallah, they wear new dresses. Say, look at my dress, how am I looking? What do you say? Do say, very nice, irrespective how they're looking. It's okay to lie with wives to make their hearts happy, okay? I'm just kidding. Prophet ﷺ, look, Ya Rasulullah, my bangles. What was the first question? Did you pay zakat, Aisha? Did you pay zakat? No, Ya Rasulullah. Prophet ﷺ, do you want that these bangles becomes bangles of fire on the day of judgment? No, Ya Rasulullah. Give zakat, Aisha. Concern. This wealth that people will not give zakat on will become fire, maazallah. It's sensitive. Every single penny matters. We must give zakat on every single penny, every single thing that is zakatable. Don't take it as light matters. Don't take any of the faraid as light things. 5 daily prayers. 5 daily prayers are fard. Don't take it light. At its time. Fajr at its time. Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. At their times. Please. Right? Fasting of Ramadan, fard. Don't take it light. Try to do it. Don't try to find excuses as to how can I not do it. Try to find excuses as to how can I do it. Illa that's a life and death matter. I've already explained that. Zakat, Hajj, people take it so light. People have wealth, they have wealth throughout their life and they do not go for Hajj. It's a calamity. As soon as you can go for Hajj, go for Hajj. Please. Right? Don't take these as light matters. That is why Allah Ta'ala said they are faraid, they are mandatory, they are compulsory, there's no choice. What words can I use? What are the words can I use? Every word that I can think of. Lazim hai, zaruri hai, farz hai. No choice. So, has to be exact date. Okay? But then it's easy. If you were Sahibun Nisab on the day 1, so you are Sahibun Nisab on day 2, a year after that. And there was no zero or negative wealth with you throughout the year. 2.5%, multiply that, easy, done. Right? You don't have to give that day, as I said, you can give it days later, months later. Always preferred that you pay it before the next day when you have to calculate your zakat. It's preferable to give it within the year's time. Understand? It's easy. It's not difficult. Very easy in the Lahnaf to calculate zakat. Alright, so as I said, now this is going to be for the rest of your life. In this particular example, people shouldn't be taking me literally. Maybe they'll take 12th of Ramadan and everybody starts doing 12th Ramadan. I gave an example, friends. It was an example for a boy who, after becoming baligh, became Sahibun Nisab on the 12th of Ramadan. This was just an example. Everybody has their own dates, right? So every year, 12th Ramadan, 12th Ramadan, 12th. When will he not be 12th of Ramadan? Any choice, any way? What do you think of? Yes, maybe he becomes zero or negative sometime during his life, right? As soon as he becomes zero or negative ever, then his clock will again reset. Then what will he is like a non-baligh becoming baligh again and again looking for a day when he'll become Sahibun Nisab. So then whenever he'll become Sahibun Nisab again, he will again take that particular date and then will check a year after that date that is he Sahibun Nisab? If yes, then he will have to check in that time duration during the year. Did he become zero or negative? No. That becomes his new date for zakat. Understood? Everybody? Any doubt in what I've just said? That's what I've said. Any doubt in that? No? Yusuf, right? I remember your name, mashallah. Mashallah on me. मेरी नज़र ना लग जाए मुझे. मेरी memory बहुत weak है. I have a very weak memory, especially regarding names. There's some people, who meet me so often. The shame on me, but I don't remember their names. But believe me, there are those people who meet me, in 6 months' time. शुक्र है आपका नाम नहीं भूला मैं. दोस्ती है इसलिए मजाक में उनसे कर रहा हूँ. कम मिलते हैं. So, understood, Yusuf?
Yeah.
Sure? Good. If somebody has not done it, say for example, oh really, was it supposed to be an exact date? I didn't do it. I just was random. Whenever I felt like doing it, I did it. It was not the right thing that you should have done. You should have done it on the same date, but now whatever is done is done. I don't even remember when I became Sahibul Nisab. I have no idea whatsoever what is my date. What should I do now? Fix a date now. The solution to that is fix a date now, right? Whatever. Abdullah is saying now, right? MashaAllah. Good is involved. See, kids are involved, MashaAllah. Good. So, fix a date now and then just do it from now. And ihtiyatan. If Allah Ta'ala has given you more wealth, then ihtiyatan give a little extra to compensate for some, miscalculations that you might have had in the past. So just get out of calculation, give a little bit extra. But fix a date now. But then stick to that date, please. Stick to that date. Stick to that date. Some people have wanted to give in Ramadan. That's why you could have given in Ramadan, could have calculated in Shawwal, or Rajab, or Muharram, or Dhul Qa'dah, right? Then your date is date. You want to get extra reward for Ramadan? Fine, good intention. But I didn't say that you had to give on that date. I said calculate on that date. Just keep it with you. Give in Ramadan if you really want to. Okay? There's still fasting questions coming too. Fasting is over. Class of fasting is over. We'll see at the end if we can have time, inshallah. I'm not understanding this question. How do you work out several years of zakat when you can't remember exactly how much money, gold you had during that period? See, it's not about periods. I repeat, it is all about one day. I could have had billion during the year, but I spent it a month before the day when I have to calculate zakat. That will not be part of calculation. It has to be just the amount on a particular day. That's what I said, it's so easy. I could have whatever during the year. But what I have to see is, I repeat, what I have from those four things on one day, on that one particular day. Whatever I have on that day will be the amount that I have to take my zakat on. Good question. Question is, somebody is challenging me, sitting online. That becoming zero or negative is for a full day or a second? It's a good question. A valid question. And I would say La Adri. I don't know. I'll have to check. It's good to say La Adri at times, right? I don't know. I'll have to check. It must be somewhere. It's a valid question. Can zakat, well, payment of zakat is later. All what I'm talking about is if you understood the principle. I've not gone into details of anything yet of zakat. Alright, so four things. What were those four things? Cash, gold, silver, goods of merchandise. Add all of them up. Add all of them up. Add all of them up on the day that you have to calculate zakat and take 2.5% out of that. Or calculate to take. हाँ वो मैं आ रहा हूँ उस पे आ रहा हूँ अभी उस पे आ रहा हूँ ठीक है अभी स्टेप बाय स्टेप आपने बहुत सही बात की है माशाल्लाह लेकिन दैट्स आई एम कमिंग टू दैट ठीक है तो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज don't take it separately because some people what do is gold 1000 dirham worth of gold less than nisab silver 500 less than nisab cash I only have 50 dirhams less than nisab I have no zakat and you add all of them up, it was more than 1075, right? So add all of them up, and give. If it is more than nisab, take 2.5% out of that. Now, when I say add all of that up, and I also spoke about negative cash, negative wealth, right? So that is your wealth. Negative wealth is also your wealth. When you're adding, people who know maths, 10 plus 10 minus 10 is what? 10. Right? So negative 10 is a number. So if I owe somebody something, that is negative wealth. Loan is negative wealth, as I said before. Right? Loan is negative wealth. So when I'm adding everything up, so what I do is, like 50 dirhams cash, 2000 worth gold, 500 worth silver, minus, how much was that, 2550? And I have taken 5000 dirhams as loan from somebody, minus 5000. That is wealth, that is my wealth, but that's negative wealth. Minus 5000. So total is 2000 minus 2450. So I'm negative. And the baseline was, for today, 1075. So it's less than that, no zakat. So as uncle said, minus liabilities. Any loan that I have is a liability on me. So I have to take that out. That is negative wealth. Okay, so when I add all of that up, I add my negative cash, negative wealth as well. Understood? Question is, what is a liability? What is loan? Loan is anything that you owe to somebody, that you have taken from somebody, you have to give it back. Right? You have taken from somebody and you have to give it back. Or, for example, a very frequently asked question, I bought a house on mortgage. I've taken that house from him already, right? I'm giving mortgage on that. So what to do? There are some people, unfortunately, they take mortgage on interest, which is haram. You need to understand that as well. So for example, you have to pay mortgage for this house for next 1 year. Today is the date. I have to pay mortgage for that for next 1 year until next 12th of Ramadan. Say for example, monthly 2000 dirhams, out of which 500 is interest money. 1500 is my principal amount that I have to give back. So ulama have written that what you deduct, your liability, is what is for until the next date of calculation of zakat. So in that particular example, what example did I give? Is pay 2000 per month for next 12 months. Out of that, 1500 was principal, 500 was interest. So you do not give on interest. You only give on liabilities that are your principal, that are valid. So how much will he have? How much is the liability that he can deduct while calculating zakat? 1500 into 12. Good. रीसेट कर रहे हैं जी, आवाज़ वापस आ गई है. Is the voice back? Is it back? Good. ठीक. तो क्या कह रहा था? So liabilities for one, if you have loan, you have to calculate loan that you have to give for the next 1 year, like since say mortgage, but don't consider any haram wealth in that. No interest money. Principal amount into next 1 year, whatever you have to give. Say 5 million dirhams today, for example, in the bank. That's all what I have. Say no gold, no silver, and I have to pay, say for example, 50,000 in mortgage, which is the normal amount. I'm not talking about Islamic banking. Islamic banking is valid banking. It's right. It does not include interest. Some people have this question, oh, but it's the same. It's not the same. People used to say, "Innamal bay'u mislu riba," that that buying selling is like interest. It's not. It's different. The principles are different. But anyway, so all what you have to give for the next 1 year, you deduct that from your million dirhams for today, and whatever is left, you give out zakat on that. Okay, so minus liabilities, minus any loans. Understood? Goods of merchandise. Goods of merchandise are those goods that you have bought to be sold. That is good. That are called goods of merchandise, mal tijarat, that you have bought to sell them. For example, I have poultry farm. I have eggs. I have eggs that I need to sell. I'm not going to feed all of those 10,000 eggs to my children, right? So they are to be sold. So they are goods of merchandise, right? Your machinery, all the machinery that you have put in your poultry farm, is that goods of merchandise? They're not. You've not bought them to sell them. You have bought them to use them. They're not goods of merchandise. Goods of merchandise are goods to be sold, right? I have a house that I live in. Is it goods of merchandise? They're not. I've bought to live in that. I have a car. I have bought to drive it. They're not called goods of merchandise. Goods of merchandise are defined as the goods that I bought to sell them. So if I have a restaurant, in restaurant, the tables, the chairs, the crockery, everything are not goods of merchandise. But the spices that I buy, the chicken supplies, the meat supplies, the rice, all of them are goods of merchandise, right? Because I bought them to be sold in a particular form, right? So they are called goods of merchandise. So we need to be very careful. We need to understand what goods of merchandise are. A very common question. I bought a property. I bought a land, for example. I am not sure what will I do with that. Maybe I'll sell it few years later in my old age when I'll retire. Maybe I'll just keep it for my son who will build a house possibly there. Maybe I'll build a house myself if I feel like it. What is that? Is it goods of merchandise? It's not. If we are not sure of that, behind the intention of the things that are bought. Some things are used for flipping. There are people in real estate here. That's all what they do. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. They are goods of merchandise. Yes, they bought a property, a land, a house, an apartment to be sold. That's all. But that's the only intention that they have, right? That is goods of merchandise. But if I buy a plot, a house, or whatever, and I'm not sure, what will I do with that? Maybe I'll put my house on rent. I bought a house, an apartment, I put it on rent. Is that house a goods of merchandise? It's not. I've not bought it to sell it. I bought it to put it on rent. It is not goods of merchandise. Goods of merchandise, just be clear, is something that is bought to be sold. That's the only intention. Nothing else. If there is a mixed intention, unclear intentions, doubtful intentions, ulama have said, leave it. Take it as if it's not goods of merchandise. It's easy, right? So just be clear on what goods of merchandise are. Okay, so cash, gold, silver, goods of merchandise. Everybody clear on this? Yes. What is the value that you will consider for goods and merchandise? The market value of that day that you will take it to sell it. So maybe I bought an apartment for $1 million dirhams, for example, last year. And today it's cost what? 700,000, right? It won't be $1 million dirham. It will be 700,000. If I take to the market a realistic price, not an exaggerated price, not a low price, a realistic price, I consider if it is to be sold today, whatever price will I get is the value that you have to consider to calculate zakat. Okay? Understood?
The products, we should use the retailer price or the consumer price.
मैंने क्या कहा है? मैंने कहा आप जाएं बेचने और जिसमें आपको जो पैसा मिले, जो आप उसको बेचने जाएं और आप जो एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे मुझे कोई देगा ख़रीदने वाला, वो प्राइस समझ में आ गई? ठीक, जी जी जी.
You mentioned about 87 grams of gold and 12 grams of silver.
It's approximate, it's not exact by the way. It's just yeah.
So on cash there is no figure. Is it just 2.5% on the cash that you physically have in a bank or physically have in your wallet?
I repeat. So they are one type: cash, gold, silver, goods and merchandise. They're one type, right? So all of them equivalent to 612 grams of silver.
Right.
Equivalent. So that's what we calculated. We said today 612 grams of silver worth 1075 dirham, AED, Emirati dirhams, as of today, 12th of May 2019, or 12th of Ramadan 1440, right? So that is one and the same. So you add all of them up. So cash 1075 dirhams plus is nisab, or anything else. Goods or merchandise. I may not have any cash, no silver, no gold, but I have eggs that worth 2,000 dirhams that I need to sell, right? So all of them are the one category, equivalent to 612 grams of silver. Understand? Yeah. ठीक है? ये सिर्फ इससे related to what I've said, because I'm going step by step.
For the merchandise, for example, I bought a merchandise and profit margin I keep is for example 2%. Still up. And the merchandise was there on the car. So I have to pay for 5%.
यार principles लगा लेना. Today is my zakat day, right? I have goods of merchandise. I've already said all of this. I bought something to sell, right? What did I say? Today is my zakat calculation day. It's in my store, right? I will I will estimate how much will I get if I had to sell this today. Whatever I expect from the market to get if I had to sell it today, that is the amount that I will have to consider, and will add that up in my cash, my gold, my silver, etc., and will take 2.5% out of that total amount. ठीक है ना? All right. Now, a big question. This was all about I have to take out zakat. Question is $1 million question. Who to give zakat to? किसको दें zakat? By the way, I'm re-emphasizing a few things because people, they keep on asking the same questions. Just remember, these are the four things: cash, gold, silver, goods or merchandise. Right? Do you have to give zakat on your topi? No. Do you have to give zakat on your Mercedes that you drive? What about your BMW? कह रहे मेरे पास है ही नहीं. मजाक कर. No, they're not goods or merchandise. What about that? That 10,000 dirham wall hanging that I have in my house. Any zakat on that? No. I have 10 plots of land that I got in inheritance from my father. Zakat on that? No. They're not goods or merchandise. I inherited from my father. I'm owner of that. Maybe 10 plots of land, 100 plots of land, doesn't matter. I have 3 houses, one in here, one in Pakistan, one in England. I put them on rent. Do I have to give to zakat? Do I have to give the zakat on that? No, they're not goods or merchandise. They're not goods or merchandise. I put it on rent. I've not bought them to sell them. What do? I take rent from them, from these houses. So today is my day. All the rent that I've accumulated until today, that's my cash. I'll put that in the cash bucket. Just add them up and take 2.5% out of that. Forget about the houses. They're not goods or merchandise. So just remember, cash, gold, silver, goods of merchandise. Things that are bought to be sold, full stop. That is something that I need to calculate zakat on, not on anything else. Okay? So if people understand the principles, all of their million questions will be answered. Again, I don't have to say, as I said, will biryani break the fast, or chicken break the fast, or mutton break the fast. Likewise, people need to understand principles, and then everything becomes easy. This is our problem, generally speaking. If we don't try to understand the logics and the principles and the usul of fiqh, usul of a hukam, a shari'i hukam, once you understand that, that's it. Where it becomes easy. All right? Good question. Receivables. I've already sold something to somebody. It's gone out of my ownership. I don't own it anymore. But he has not paid yet, and today is the day for my zakat calculation. Yes, that is the money that I owe. That is my money. He has not given it back, but because the thing that I have sold is out of my possession, I'm not giving zakat on that, but he has yet not given me money. That is my money. Same is with the loan. If I have given to somebody, if, say for example, I gave 100,000 dirhams to you as loan, right? Today is the day I have to calculate my zakat. It is my money, it's not yours, right? I have given you loan. It's my money, it's not yours. Who will give zakat? I will have to calculate zakat of that. It's mine. It's not with me. It's not in my possession. It is with your possession, but I must calculate zakat. Some people say, but I don't expect that money from that person. Shame, first thing first. What a bad thing that people do not pay back loans. They have to be very worried that they will be held accountable for that on the day of judgment, that they are not paying people's loans, right? If you are delaying it for a reason, if you can't pay it and whatever, that's a separate story, but please have, क्या देख रहे हो? आपके ऐसे gestures मुझे परेशान कर देते. I think something is technically wrong, that's why. So, people should pay back loans. If you can't, then you must go and tell him, please give me some more time. But it's our responsibility to pay back loans. Anyway, if you think that he's never going to pay me back, then there is a second option. The second option is don't calculate that amount in your zakat calculation yet, but put a note somewhere that this year I did not take out zakat on that 100,000 loan that I had given to somebody, and I don't even expect that he's going to give. Mark the date, use Excel for that or some notepad, whatever, right? Mark a date. Next year, I didn't calculate my zakat on that. He has not also given me yet. Maybe 10 years later he say, oh, here's your 100,000 dirhams. Now what will I do? That was my money to start 10 years ago as well. So what will I do? I will go to the first year where I did not pay zakat on that, because I was expecting he's not going to give me back. So 100,000 minus 2.5% of that. Whatever is net, next year, that net minus 2.5% of that. Next year, whatever was the net, that minus 2.5% of that. For all the years that I have not given zakat on that amount that I had given to somebody as loan, I'll have to keep deducting and then take out the amount. It may be 100,000 dirhams actually. Right? You never know, right? 100,000 I've given example, but what if it was 10,000 dirhams that I given loan, and it turned out to be, I have to pay 10,000 zakat on this. It won't be 10,000. It can be by them. So that's how you calculate zakat. But yes, the money that you own, it might be in somebody else's possession, is your money, and you have to calculate zakat on that. Okay?
So effectively 20 years, 50 delays, then
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't even think that he's going to pay anymore. You were already expecting that it was not yours. Now you've got it good, that inshallah you've got an opportunity to spend it in the path of Allah Ta'ala actually. Because irrespective, you were not getting it. Now you got it, you have an opportunity to earn ajr of that, inshallah. Not diamonds, no. Gold and silver, that's it. No platinum, no diamonds, nothing else. Just gold and silver. Yes?
इस्लामिक बैंक से अगर कर्ज लिया 10 साल के लिए और मिलियन दिरहम का लोन घर है, मेरे पास उतने पैसे नहीं हैं, तो 10 साल तक मैं ज़कात नहीं दूंगा, इसलिए मैं तो माइनस नहीं होगा।
If that is the case, yes, if I bought a house on mortgage and the principal amount or Islamic banking, the total amount for next 1 year, if my net is negative, and if I have say 10,000 dirhams minus 20,000 dirhams that I have to pay in mortgage for the next year, it's minus 10,000. No zakat on me, yes, and it can continue for next 10 years. Why not? Why are you so amazed that, oh, मैं 10 साल तक zakat नहीं दूंगा? Well, there majority of the people are, they don't pay zakat for all their lives. It's principles, right? There's no zakat on me, no zakat on me. Take it now, the next portion. I want to just have only 30 minutes more, because then I'll pray Asr and then I want all of you to go back home and eat your pakoras and samosas, inshallah. I boycotted pakora samosas this Ramadan actually. So, who to give zakat to? Kisko de? Basically, please try to understand it. We need to have some open minds here, awake minds, fully fresh. There are two types of wealth. Everybody has two types of wealth. One is their necessities. Necessities. What is your necessity? Kind of food. Yes. Clothes. Right? How many pairs? Ek to nahi na. Of course, I have to wash it. At least a few more. Clothes. How many pairs of clothes? It depends. If you ask a woman, she said 30. If you ask a man, he will say maybe 3, right? So, it depends. But a few pairs of clothes. Let's take it average, 7 pairs of clothes a week. Let's not make it a month, a week, right? I'm being very relaxed, right? I hope that if there is I ask for forgiveness from all the Mufti Hazrat who are strict on this opinion, but this is something that I've taken from one of my teachers. So, 7 pairs of clothes, let's say, right? What else? A house? 1 house or 2? If you're married once, then 1 house, right? What else? 1 car? Right? What else? 1 sofa set, maybe? 1 crockery set, maybe? 1 phone? Right? Some people say no, it's not necessity. It has become a necessity. Ask yourself when you forget to charge your phone overnight and you have a heart attack, right? Phone, 1 laptop maybe, right? So I'm just coming up with a list just now, right? Some are necessities. Second car is a necessity? No. Second house is? If you're only married once? No. Right? I'm serious, I'm not joking here. Somebody is married twice, of course he needs 2 houses. 1 house, 1 wife, 1 house, right? Don't need a second house, don't need a second car, don't need 2 phones, don't need 2 phones, don't need 2 laptops. So they are luxuries. One are necessities, one are luxuries, right? Now, if you give zakat to people, number 1, who are not sahibun nisab, in other words, they have less than 1,075 dirhams as of today. They have less than equivalent of 612 grams of silver in cash, gold, wealth and goods of merchandise. They are not sahibun nisab. 2, Second thing that you have to look into it, look into that person, is that in the luxuries that he has, forget about necessities, ignore necessities. The luxuries that he has, the second phone, the second car, the second house, a plot of land. Plot of land is a luxury. It's a luxury, right? House is a necessity. Plot of land is luxury. The luxuries that he has, are the value of that equal to 612 grams of silver or more? So two things you have to consider. One, in cash, gold, silver, goods of merchandise, are they less than equivalent of 612 grams of silver? Two, if you say yes, they are less than that, so he's not Sahibun Nisab. Second thing that now that you have to look at is that his luxuries, are these equivalent to the value of it, the market value of it? Are they equivalent to 612 grams of silver or more? If the answer is no, then you can give zakat to this. If he had less than nisab in gold, silver, cash and goods of merchandise, but his luxuries were more than 612 grams, equivalent of 612 grams of silver, then you cannot give zakat to that person. If he has a second car just sitting there, and the car worth what? Definitely more than 1,000 dirhams, hopefully so. Illa that it was saved for a museum. If it has no value, zero value, then of course not. So this is what you have to see. Some people say, oh, he has a television in his house. Oh, really? That's a luxury. TV is a luxury, definitely. It's not a necessity. TV is a luxury. Oh, he has a TV in his house. How can he? He's very poor, TV in his house. What, can I give zakat to him? You say, what is the worth of that TV? And that TV is, 2004 model, 15 years old. And if you go to the market, they will say, you pay me 50 dirhams to get it, fetch it from your house. I once sold a dining table, because it broke or something happened, I don't know what. And the chairs broke, I can't remember. So my wife said, it's all broken, can we get a new one? I said, fine, makes sense. Says, I thought, what to do with this existing table? So I asked around, put it on Dubizzle, nobody was ready to buy it. And then I called the company, I said, I'm ready to give it for free, can you take it? He said, you pay me 50 dirhams to get it from your house. So, although looks like it's a second table, right, it's a luxury, but it has no value whatsoever. In fact, it's possibly a negative thing, right? So you look at maybe that TV is worth nothing. So again, remember, what is the worth? That if you have to take it out in the market, whatever price you will get by selling it on that very day, that is the worth of that thing. So you check out if the worth of luxuries is equivalent to 612 grams of silver or less, then you can give zakat if he is not Sahibun Nisab. If they are more, then you cannot give zakat to that person as well. Ask him to sell his second car. Why is he having a second car? He can sell his plot of land. He can sell his second house with one wife. Right? So, understanding this point, right? So zakat can only be given to a person who has less than nisab amount plus his luxuries, the market value of his luxuries on that particular day is also less than the nisab amount. Understand? Everybody clear on this point?
So if someone has, for example, if you look at cash, gold, silver, with liability it is negative 50,000, and what he has in his house is 2,000 dirhams. It is above the nisab, but in the first category it is way below zero. What would you do?
All right. So you add all of that up. First you look at these separately, then you add all of that up. You put the net of that. So the value of the luxury and his net of cash, gold, silver and goods of merchandise, you add all of that up. If it's also, I'm a little 1% doubtful on that actually. But this is what's coming in my head. If there is anything else, then I'll fix it. The but if the worth of all of that is less than nisab, then you can still pay zakat of it. So if it's not sahibun nisab, has luxury more than nisab, but he has negative cash, he is minus 100,000, right? He is minus 100,000 in debts, right? Then you add all of that up, it still turns out to be less than nisab, then you can pay zakat to him, definitely. Good question though. Alright, so if you have understood this, we need to also understand very well that zakat is to be given to a person, not to these walls. Institute needs money. It does, by the way. A lot. We have like more than 500,000 rent, right, etc. Can you give zakat to institute? No. It's not a person. It is not a person. Zakat has to be given to a person, a human being. And you have to make him owner of that. You cannot give zakat to build, construct an institute, to pay rent of an institute, to pay, for the furniture of an institute. You cannot. It is very important. You can give them cash, make them owner of the cash, or you can also buy something from that cash and can make them the owner of that thing. For example, there are some refugees somewhere. They have lost their houses, they're on the streets, winter is coming, they need blankets, they're sick, they need medicines. They are deserving of zakat. What you can do is buy medicines, clothes, blankets from zakat money and make them the owner of those things if you think that they're in need. Some people say, is a person who is deserving of zakat, checks all the requirements of the recipient of zakat, can I take him to Umrah? Can I buy him a ticket for Umrah? Yes, you can, because it's a ticket. It can be taken as, although it's not a tangible thing, one may say, but still, and the ticket is sort of a tangible thing. You can do that. You can buy him, but you have to ask him, is it okay I do that for you? I want to give it to you. Can I buy a Umrah ticket for you instead? You can. So, but you have to make him the owner. And once you make him the owner, that's it. Then he can do whatever with that amount. You don't have the right to ask him that what did you do with that amount. You have made him the owner. You have given me 10,000 dirhams as a gift. You don't have the right to ask me now, what did you do with those 10,000 dirhams? I can buy ice cream for my family. I can buy, a new sofa for my house. I can do whatever. You have made me the owner by giving me a gift. Why are you asking me now? It's bad. You're asking me later. You can investigate. Is he a drug addict? Is he something like that? He might be using money in wrong things. And you feel like that I should not give him money because he just wastes that in wrong things. It's up to you. You have the choice to not give him. But once you have given it to him, that's it. He's the owner of that. Don't ask him now, what did you do with that? If you just want to be friendly with him, you just want to guide him, that's another thing. But don't ask him for the sake of, oh no, why did you use that to buy a sofa? Give me back. It's not allowed. All right. So you have to make a person owner of that. A person owner of that. A person owner of that. What if there is an institute needs that rent is to be paid? Some institute, not this, because we don't do that. But I'm just saying, because some institutes do that. What if they have to pay their rent? Right? And nobody's giving them any donation. They're in need, the rent is coming. Or people are saying, we can give zakat to you. That's it. We have a lot of zakat that we need to pay, but that's it. We can't give anything else. That's the only avenue that they have. What can they do? Kya kare? Anybody? Any suggestion? Based on the principle that I've just mentioned.
someone and
What they can do is, if there is a person who is deserving of receiving zakat, what they can say is, you can tell them, you know what, this is our need, right? All what people have is to pay zakat money. Is it okay if you receive that zakat money and for the sake of Allah you will get ajr and you pay our rent? And if he agrees, that's one way, yes. What if you give them those 500,000 dirhams to pay the rent and he runs away? Can you blame him? No. As I said, he has no blame whatsoever. He has one blame, that he didn't keep up with his words. That's bad. He should have. As a Muslim, he should have. That's a sin. But he has not done any wrong with the money. You have made him the owner. As I said, you cannot ask him, what did you do with the money? You made him the owner. And he did whatever he did with that money. There's no sin regarding the money matters. He has sin regarding that he did not keep with his promise. He did not fulfill his promise. That's bad. That's a sin. So there's a way. But the reason I gave this example is that you have to make a person an owner. You have to make a person an owner of zakat. You cannot give it to walls. You cannot construct a masjid. You cannot construct an institute. You cannot construct a building. You cannot do that. There is a way to do that, but that way is this. And many institutes do that actually, because people have become stingy, unfortunately, forget there's so much reward of spending in the path of Allah Ta'ala. One of the biggest things that you can earn ajr from Allah Ta'ala, so much so that Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran that there is giving, talking about a person who is dying, who has not done enough in his life. And he will say, Ya Allah, can you please delay my death for a few more moments? Rabbi lawla akhartani ila ajalin qareeb. Because he's not done anything in his life. Now he realizes death is coming. And he has choice of doing one act that can compensate for all the wrongs that he might have done in his life. What is that thing? For as-saddaqa, I'll give in charity, Ya Allah. Yaqum min as-salihin, I'll become righteous. It's such a huge thing. But unfortunately, people have become stingy. People become small-hearted. They don't give anymore. So, this is what some are doing it. That this is what they ask some of the people who are deserving to accept zakat. They ask them, is it okay? Also, what you can also do is you can become wakil on somebody's behalf. You are deserving of zakat, right? And I become your wakil. I ask you, can I take zakat on your behalf and spend on your behalf? And if you said, fine, I'll make you a wakil. This is also what can be done. So this is what some are doing. We do not do that, I repeat. We do not do that, by the way. Understand, everybody. So in zakat, a person has to be made owner. In zakat, a person has to be made owner. Understand?
And there is no limit of amount you can give.
It's a good question. It's another good question.
What is the limit?
What is the limit?
1075 is the limit of Sahab.
See, I understand your question.
So,
Understand your
a person
question.
who is not Sahab and Nisab is entitled to receive it. Can I pay him 20,000 dirhams?
Yes, it's a good question. It's a good question. Question is that who do you have to give zakat to? Who is not Sahib al-Nisab. And the Nisab of today was 1075 dirhams, equivalent to 612 grams of silver. The question is that if I pay him 1075, he becomes Sahib al-Nisab. Right? He becomes Sahib al-Nisab. Now I cannot give him because he's Sahib al-Nisab. Understand? He becomes Sahib al-Nisab once he has 1075 dirhams as of today, equivalent to 612 grams of silver. Can I give him more? एक मिनट मैं बता रहा हूँ मैं तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता बता रहा हूँ ठीक है I cannot. So if, say for example, he is in need of money, he has to pay his children's school fee, which are 20,000 dirhams. Say, I want to help him. He's not Sahib al-Nisab. So, but I'll say, you know what, today I have 2,000 dirhams. Tomorrow I'll give you 18,000, say. And he has to pay school fees 5 days from today. So if I give him 2,000 today, he is now Sahib al-Nisab. I cannot give him zakat money of 18,000 tomorrow because he is yet not paid it. He owns it. Understand? What one can do is that as long as he's not Sahibun Nisab, I give him as much as I want once. Just at one time. Although some ulama have written that it's not very much recommended, but we have needs, we all understand. So other ulama have given some relaxation to this, and they say you can, you may, right? But make sure you give him once. Don't split it, because once he becomes Sahib Nisab, he will not be eligible to take zakat amount after that. ठीक है आपका समझ में आ गया? Understand?
Nowadays, 1,075 is a bigger amount. Most of the people.
Another question. MashaAllah. Thank you for giving pointers. I was planning to cover all of this, but it's good that it's min Allah that is coming as they are coming. What if there is a person who has 2,000 dirhams, but he gets sick and he needs treatment which costs 5,000 dirhams? All what I have is zakat. I don't have anything that I can help him with. What to do? Kya karu? So one suggestion is, ask him, my friend, you get your treatment done, you take a loan from your friend, right? Pay your hospital bill, I'll take care, don't worry. Later, I'll take care of that. I promise. Don't worry about that. Take a loan, I'll help you out later. So what will he do? He will possibly take 500,000 dirhams loan from somebody, pay his hospital bill, he still have 2,000 in his bank account. But what is his net amount? Minus 3,000. Minus 3,000. Right? So he's less than nisab amount. Now I can pay zakat to him. This is one way of doing it. This is one way of doing it. That you ask him, you say, nobody gives me loan, what can I do? I can still try to help him out. What can I do? I'll ask my friend, you know what? Pay him and I'll pay you. I'll ask him, make me wakil. I will arrange for your loan. I'll pay back your loan. Make me wakil of this whole transactions. Do you want to make me wakil? He will say, sure. I need to get my things done, my treatment done. Become his wakil. I say to you, pay him, give him loan. I'll pay you. Once you pay him loan, that's it. I'll pay you his loan back on his behalf. So there are things that can be done like that. So इस सारों का solution है कोई ना कोई.
Is it not possible for you to give the loan yourself? If it was possible. Instead of involving another person to know about the sensitivity.
It is a possibility. It's also a possibility. I give him loan and then say, here is the card, pay me back my loan. It is a possibility to do so as well. But I'm talking, all what I have is zakat. This is what the condition that I put. मेरे पास है ही zakat और मेरे पास पैसे नहीं. But yes, it is also something that can be done, indeed.
Is it possible if you go along with him to the hospital and you tell the hospital whatever will be on him after the treatment I will pay, and once the hospital
Once the treatment is delivered, then it is on him. Then he is in loan of the hospital. Then I can pay back his loan. That's another thing that can be. So, what I'm just giving an example. I said this one way. You can be 10 ways, right? One way is that he is baligh, his wife is baligh, his child is baligh, right? All of them are baligh. Maybe he has more than nisab amount. My wife might not be, or his child might not be. You give it to his child and say, son, spend on your father. That's another way, right? Women, they have kept this thing for their cover, which is a piece of gold. I don't know what do they do with their gold. They get it on their marriages and just take it along with them in their graves. And all their life they keep it, tied it to themselves. Don't know why. Either use it or spend it. Kyun usko, for rainy days. And the rain never comes. Seriously. What are you doing with that? Spend it. Give in charity. Use it. I'm serious. Use it. That's what they do. Get it on their marriages and take it. And when they die, that goes to their inheritors. So, but unfortunately, majority of the women have that gold. Some jewelry set. By the way, gold, zakat isn't all gold. Even the gold in the Ahnaf, according to Hanafi school, even on that gold that you use, the bangles that you wear, the earrings that you have, on all of that. So you have to give zakat on that if you have more than the nisab amount, more than equivalent of 612 grams of silver. You have to give zakat on that, right? So generally what I'm trying to say is women are sahibun nisab. Please women, pay your zakat. Pay your zakat. Pay your zakat. You don't want those bangles, those earrings to become the bangles and earrings of fire on the day of judgment. Pay your zakat, please. You say, I don't have cash. What do I do? Sell your jewelry and pay your zakat. And if your husband is nice and is wealthy and is generous, if he wants to pay your zakat on your behalf, he is getting your ajr. Good for him. That's good. But if he says, no, I don't have money, or, you pay yours. I don't want to pay yours. I'm already doing an ihsan on you by feeding you. If he's such a man, a stingy man, then you must pay your zakat. Sell your jewelry then, but pay your zakat. There's no choice. So anyway, there might be a son who is not sahibun nisab and who is an adult. You can give zakat to him. You spend on your father's treatment or whatever. So there are different ways of tackling these. All right? Okay. Any questions from the audience? Jeevan.
There are people who claim that I can accept zakat, that I'm preserving. There are ethical boundaries in which you can investigate. So what are the limits?
Just as you said, ethical boundaries. If somebody says that I am deserving of zakat, you must investigate as much as you can within the ethical boundaries. Ask questions directly, indirectly, somehow, good question to ask. They're already claiming they're deserving of zakat. And really, you don't have gold? He says, no. All right, acha. And you can have a general feeling of that person as well. He's really struggling. Ask a few basic questions, You don't have cash really? You don't have gold really? Because he's saying, I am deserving of zakat. So when you ask him, if he's saying that, really don't have gold, don't have cash, says no, that's it. Then it is between, if he's lying, then it's between him and Allah. Your zakat is considered paid, yes. But you have to investigate to a certain extent, definitely. You have to. And if you want to help somebody through zakat and you don't know if he's deserving of zakat or not, again, do some basic investigations. Asking for example, did you pay zakat? I don't even have anything I'm not even sahibun nisab. So, taken care of. Really? Not sahibun nisab? Gold nahi hai aapke paas? You don't have cash? I said, no. They can get paid by zakat. So, few basic ethical questions, but must investigate before giving zakat. Alright, because zakat paid to that person who was not worthy of accepting zakat, our zakat is not considered paid. Okay, our zakat is not considered paid. Zakat given to construction of a masjid, zakat not considered paid. You have to repay that zakat. That is not zakat, etc.
I've heard, I don't know, probably I'm wrong, on the day of judgment, if your zakat, there is a shortfall, our charities would be taken as part of that.
General principle is that the nawafil will, on the day of judgment, the nawafil, the extra ibadat will compensate the shortfalls in faraid. But that shortfalls in faraid, as much as for my understanding, is that, for example, my prayer, although I pray by 4 rakahs of asr, but that's not even worthy of getting accepted. So there was shortfall, there was deficiency in that. It's not that I didn't do it at all, but there was deficiency in that. So nawafil will compensate for those things. The fact that, my nawafil will take care of my faraid, that I didn't pray my Zohar 4 rakahs, rather pray 4 rakahs sunnat, so will that compensate for that? This is not my understanding. So faraid have to be given according to, according to the knowledge that I have. But, say for example, I tried my best. I tried that, my zakat was 10,000 dirhams that I need to give this year, but in reality it was 10,002 dirhams. It was not intentionally that I was not calculating right. Inshallah ta'ala, these are the deficiencies that are in my calculation of zakat. Inshallah, we have hope from Allah ta'ala that these will be compensated by charities. Inshallah. Ji.
If you are sending money to mother or brother, zakat, they are paying. Is it right or they have to go to it?
उनको ज़कात दे सकते हैं कि नहीं दे सकते, आप क्या पूछ रहे हैं? भेजते हैं कि वो ज़कात आपके बिहाफ पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर दें. हाँ, ये तो मैंने कहा है ना, किसी को वकील बना सकते हैं. वकील तो आप किसी को भी बना सकते हैं. देखिए, उनको बताना चाहिए कि देखें ठीक जगह ज़कात दें. उनसे पूछना चाहिए, आपकी ज़कात है ना, तो आपको पूछना चाहिए आपकी ज़कात किधर दे रहे हैं. ये तो आपके ऊपर लाजिम है. ज़कात तो मेरी है, मैं ज़िम्मेदार हूँ इसका. तो अगर मैं किसी को वकील बना रहा हूँ, मुझे पता भी हो कि उसको पता है कि किसको ज़कात देनी है. ये तो बहुत बड़ी ज़िम्मेदारी है. So the question is that when I make a wakil, what if he spends it in a wrong thing? What I'm saying is that when I'm making somebody wakil, I need to make sure that he knows where to give zakat to, who to give zakat to. It's my responsibility. So I need to do my level best. मैंने अपनी पूरी तहकीक करनी है. बाकी ऊंच नीच अल्लाह के हवाले. अभी ये बात हुई थी अभी 5 मिनट पहले कि आप अपनी तहकीक करें. यू इन्वेस्टिगेट एंड इफ़ यू थिंक दैट दे आर डिजर्विंग देन गिव इट. अपनी तहकीक होनी चाहिए पूरी, विद इन बाउंड्रीज. लिमिट्स होंगी, सारी बात है. लेकिन वही मैंने कहा कि अगर वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं, तो झूठ तो उनका और अल्लाह का मामला है, फिर हमारा कोई इसके अंदर वो नहीं है. जी.
Say not 1,075, you will be having 2,000-3,000 dirhams worth of, but he is having debts more than that. He will be having debts of 20,000-30,000 dirhams.
जी.
So I think
वो नेगेटिव है ना, वो तो नेगेटिव है. जी बिल्कुल. हाँ बिल्कुल. बिल्कुल, ये मैं बात कर चुका हूँ. This is what I've said, that you considered the overall amount. It's not just the cash that he has, the equivalent. हाँ, वो तो वही तो कह रहा हूँ, तहकीक कर लें, उससे पूछ लें. ये भी एक अच्छा सवाल है पूछने वाले. It's a good question to ask as well while investigating. Do you have loans? So yeah, I have loans. So that's it. And if he has 10,000 dirham loans, he might have 5,000 dirhams in his bank. He's minus 5,000. Right? बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. हाँ बिल्कुल. लेकिन तहकीक वही, वो तो मैं बात कर चुका हूँ कि उस ओवरऑल इट्स अ नेट अमाउंट. किसी का और का सवाल जीशान? Say it again, please.
When you're calculating nisab, can you calculate it in terms of the value of gold when you're calculating based on when you have to receive it, so the threshold will go up?
I was purposely not touching upon it. But now you have asked question that what it is the last raised to infinity condition to give zakat. If there's nothing that you can do, nobody's giving him loan. So basically he has 2,000 dirhams. An example, 2,000 dirhams, more than silver's nisab, not eligible, sahib nisab as per silver. Nobody's willing to give him loan. No other adult in the family who can give zakat to, etc. As I tried every way and cannot give him zakat at all. After trying. But he's in need. The last thing, I repeat, is that he's in need, genuine need. No other way. Not even that. Hospitals say, give us cash in advance. We cannot treat otherwise. There are some cruel hospitals like that as well. Such a shame. He's dying. treat him. So the last thing is that you can consider the nisab of gold for him. That all right, silver is 1075, but the nisab of gold, 87 grams of gold would be how much? Around 12,000. Right? So then you can consider that. Yes. But I was purposely not touching about that. People don't take it as, an ease. Try other avenues, but if there's no other avenue, then yes, you can also say at least he is less than 87 grams, equivalent to 87 grams of gold, give him zakat. ठीक है?
Giving zakat to a traveler who's rich and like on the journey.
Yes, if he's a traveler, if somebody is a traveler and he does not have cash here in the city, has no means also to take out cash, zakat can be given to him as well. Yes, this is one of the masarif of zakat. Ji?
Ayat number 60, Surah Tawbah.
Ji. There's 7 masarif of
Specific.
Ji. But he must not have any means, he does not have any means to take out cash. Today everybody has ATM cards. So it's not that he doesn't have a cash in the pocket. If he has an ATM card and he can go and take cash out of it, he's a billionaire back home and he can take out cash, then no. He should not have any means of cash while traveling outside his city, then yes, you can give zakat to him as well.
Can a wakil just select anything?
Huh?
Can the wakil look for anyone and give it, or a specific category mentioned by the owner?
I'm sorry.
Can the wakil select any category from the 7 and give it to him, or the specific category mentioned?
No, yeah, illa that he specifies, because he's wakil. I'm nothing. Wakil is a wakil. You ask me to do A, I'll do A. You ask me to do B, I'll do B. You say do A or B, I'll do A or B. That's what wakil is. Wakil do not have anything more than that. Whatever authority is given, he does the same. It's a power of attorney, right? Power of attorney is to do a specific act. So whatever act he is given power of, he does that act. So if he says do whatever, you do whatever. If he says do this, I'll do this. If somebody buys a land with the gold, that's fine. Land is land. So he's no zakat and apply principles, people. All right. Zakat cannot be given to one's wife, cannot be given to one's children, cannot be given to one's parents. So usul and furu and wife or husband. There are two people that you cannot give zakat to. Your parents and up, your children and down. So up and down in your lineage, direct, and your wife or husband. These are the people that you cannot give zakat to. Everybody else you can. Sister, brother, etc. Your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, you can. Your parents, your children, your wife, your husband. These are the people that you cannot give zakat to. Everybody else you can. There are lots of questions. So what I'll try to do, people, online, all of those people who have asked me other questions other than that have been answered already. I'll try to, inshallah, give me at least 2 days and I'll try to answer you, inshallah ta'ala, on the messages that you have sent. ठीक है, inshallah. There are lots of questions, but the time is up. I know that people need to go back to Sharjah as well. Ji.
It's recommended to give it to someone like it's better to give it to a brother rather than give it to someone else.
Sorry?
It is recommended to give it to brother.
Brother.
Yes, rather than.
Yes, it is of course recommended to give it to the closest ones. This is a general principle as well. You get more ajr to spend on those who are close to you. You spend it if your brother is is needy, give it to your brother. That is more other than to spend on somebody in Africa. Likewise, if you have to make your masjid, it's recommended to make a masjid in your own town as opposed to making a masjid in Asia, right? So it's always everybody starts doing it. Needs of that community will be taken care of within the community, because Allah Ta'ala has distributed people in community. Some are rich, some are poor, so everything can be taken care of within. So yes, although of course now the means of transportation are so quick, so people do travel. So still, even though I'm in Dubai and my brother is in, say, Pakistan, in Lahore, but that remains my brother. So he's close in relationship. So everybody is close in either relationship or in communities. Then it's more recommended and more rewarding to spend on them as opposed to people outside. Okay, so I'll end here, inshallah. So what I'll do is, inshallah, I'll try to answer all of you who have sent me questions online, on WhatsApp. I'll try to possibly send you voice notes because it'll be very, very difficult to type, inshallah. So may Allah Ta'ala give you all jazaak khair. Hope the basics have been answered, because there were some things that were sort of, I could say, bothering me, because people were so ignorant about the basics of fasting, and they were ignorant about the basics of zakat. So I wanted to cover those basics at least. I know there could have been, in zakat especially, there can be many, very technical things, especially those doing businesses. Assets, what are assets, who is responsible, who to pay, who is responsible for paying that, if there is partnership in businesses, for example, etc. So but I'm not touching upon that because nobody asked that. So inshallah I'll क्या कह रहे हैं? बहुत lengthy हो जाएगा. It's a full day workshop. Zakat is full. Inshallah we'll do it one day. Inshallah we'll do it one day. So I've done it already in the past, but I think we need to repeat that maybe once in 2 years, so that the new people come in or some people forget. So it's good to revise that, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Dua kar lete hain inshallah. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. يا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكر إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahimeen, please accept this session from all of us. Ya Allah, because of the talab, ikhlas, sincerity of all of these people who have come and who attended online. Ya Allah, please accept this gathering from all of us. Ya Allah, please ignore our shortcomings, lack of sincerity, Ya Allah, lack of adab, lack of etiquettes. Ya Allah, please, we beg you that you still accept it from all of us. Ya Allah, please accept our fasting, please accept our Taraweeh, Allah, accept our charity, accept our tilawat of the Quran, accept all the good deeds that people are doing, Ya Allah, in this very month. And Ya Allah, please also give us tawfiq to continue with that outside Ramadan as well, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please give us tawfiq to prepare for our death, Ya Allah. Please give us tawfiq to prepare for our death. Please give us tawfiq to prepare for our death. Ya Allah, please make the day of our death the most pleasurable, enjoyable day of our life in this dunya. Ya Allah, please put that shock, that desire to have a meeting with you when you send your angels to take us back. Please, when you send them, Ya Allah, send them with the glad news of forgiveness and Jannat, Ya Allah. Ya Rahman Rahimeen, please allow us to recite kalima as our last words before we die. Ya Allah, please make all the stages of Akhirat easy for us, the grave, the questions of the graves. Ya Allah, the day of judgment, please give us your shade on that day when there will be no other shade but one shade. Ya Allah, please give us the shafaat, the intercession of your Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on that day. Ya Allah, on the day of judgment, when, Ya Allah, it will be called Aina Sa'imun, where are those who fasted? And a group will stand up and you will enter them into Jannat from Babur Rayyan without any reckoning, any questioning. Ya Allah, we beg you that you please include us in that group as well. Please accept our fasting, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has truly said that لِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانِ فَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ فِطْرِهِ وَفَرْحَةٌ عِنْدَ لِقَاءِ رَبِّهِ. That a person who fasts has two moments of pleasure, and that one when he breaks his fast, and the second when he will meet with his Rabb. Ya Allah, please make our meeting with you the most pleasurable moment in our life, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please, we beg you that you protect our wives, our husbands, our children, our generations, our parents. Rabbi irhamhuma kama rabbayani saghira. Ya Allah, those who have passed away, please forgive them, increase their ranks. And Ya Allah, our parents who are still alive, allow us to serve them, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, all of those who are sick spiritually or physically, please give them perfect cure, speedy recovery, Ya Allah. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, all those people who are in need, please give them all what they are in need of. And all those who have asked for du'as, give them all what they are in need of. Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Ya Allah, please be happy with us in our life, and especially in the Akhirat, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, we are beggars of, Ya Allah, at your door. Ya Allah, you have called us beggars. Ya Allah, here are some beggars calling you, begging you of, Ya Allah, give us some charity. Ya Allah, give us charity of your rahmat, of your mercy, of your forgiveness, especially in this month of Ramadan. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, please don't make us from those wretched people who don't earn forgiveness in Ramadan. Ya Allah, please make us from those successful people who earn your mercy and who earn your forgiveness in this very month. Ya Allah, please make us those people who you like, Ya Allah. Please accept us all for the service of your deen. We know we are not worthy of serving your deen, but we know it's not about qabiliyat, it's about qubuliyat. Accept us, Ya Allah. Please provide means from your infinite treasures, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. We are indeed in need of this dunya and akhirat. Ya Allah, please accept all of our du'as. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم صلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله. جزاك الله.